With flashing images, we're back on the tour bus now on Sky Living HD. And if you've got an opinion about the Fab Five, we want to know about it. Get tweeting using hashtag #StepsOnTheRoad.
Steps are embarking on their epic reunion tour.
I want to come back with such a big bang.
It's scary. Of course, we're all worried. We don't want to tarnish the name of Steps.
After an 11-year wait and only weeks to prepare,
at this point, I can't see how it is all going to come together.
time is running out.
I honestly don't feel like we're going to be ready in time.
I actually think it's going to be close to a car crash.
They're about to face over 170,000 fans who can't be disappointed.
Right now, we don't know if we've actually got a show tonight.
No.
And as the pressure mounts, can they keep their demons under control?
Steps are at a crossroads. I really had doubts. Didn't even know that there was a problem, really.
A leopard never changes its spots.
There are people within the group who don't have as much commitment to the band.
I can't say that I regret something when I don't.
This is Steps on the road again. Steps are undertaking one of their biggest UK arena tours ever, the Ultimate Tour. They've been on the road for a week and they've already travelled to 7 different cities, every night trying to deliver their best possible show. But at the same time, they've had to battle with the idea of leaving family life behind, the pressure of media intrusion.
I'm not even going to answer that question because it's a complete load of bollocks.
And exhaustion. Now, they've been forced to dredge up painful memories as they play in the very same arena where H and Claire announced they were leaving the band 11 years ago. They even have to revisit the same dressing room where they handed over their letters of resignation.
It's weird being back here, if I'm honest. You're revisiting those unhappy places, I suppose.
It does bring it back. It is still painful, and I'd be lying if I said otherwise.
I stand by it. I still do. I can't say that I regret something when I don't.
But despite the awkwardness of reliving old memories, they've got a show to do, and they're determined to give Manchester the best performance ever. As they perform on stage in front of 11,000 fans, Lisa and Claire are finding it hard to keep their emotions under control.
I wanted your love, but look what it's done to me. All my dreams have come to nothing. Who would have believed?
And the song lyrics become all too apt.
Only try. I know you don't believe it, but I really didn't mean it when I said goodbye. That was difficult, wasn't it?
The show comes to a close, and despite the tears, it's been a successful night.
Thank you,
Got the bottle of champers ready.
Best gig ever. I absolutely loved it. And it was really so emotional. It's really hard not to cry, but I think I managed it. Well, I would just like to say, I think it was amazing that we made it through, because it was quite tough at times, and it meant a lot to all of us for obviously different reasons, and I absolutely loved it. But I think we did a really good job. I think we did ourselves proud, and we gave Manchester the show they deserved.
We bury all the horrible old memories.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how much when I said goodbye would get me. And
Oh my
I just said to her, I had a little moment.
We couldn't
Nobody
look
looked
at
at
each
anyone
other.
tonight.
No.
I stood at the top looking at you and everyone was just like... Alright then guys, so the lawyer then I'll sing over there. Go on.
Feeling emotional.
Right.
Well, I feel quite relieved that we've done it, and I think it was a really good show. So I'd like to say well done, everybody. And let's move on now.
10 years, been and gone.
Yeah.
Is that your final thought?
That's my final
Liza's
thought.
final thought.
Take care of yourselves.
And each other.
Manchester is over, and in 2 weeks it'll be time to go home and return to normal life. Claire will resume her role as housewife and mother at her home on the outskirts of London.
Hold Charlie's hand.
For Faye, it's home to Sunderland, where husband Michael is awaiting her return with their son Ben. Lee's getting married at the end of the year and has a wedding to plan with his fiancée Kerry. Lisa will return to Dubai to be with her husband and children. And H will be preparing for the arrival of the baby he's expecting through surrogacy. But they're nowhere near the finish line. There are 13 more cities to perform in, and every day is starting to feel the same.
Being on tour, it really is like Groundhog Day. Every day is the same, but obviously you're in a different venue, there's a different audience.
We will still go out there and I'll give it everything I've got every single night, but it's mustering that up is becoming a little bit more difficult.
As the tour pushes on, the band have settled into a pre-show routine which allows them private time to focus before each show. Lee's fiancée Kerry has secretly arranged to join him on tour for a couple of days, and just half an hour before he's due on stage at Cardiff, she decides to surprise him.
Stop surprising me! You're alright. I'm just getting ready. You always come in when I'm rushing to get ready.
You were late.
I don't like you coming to watch. I go wrong when you come and watch. It's pressure. Added pressure. Oh, that's lovely. Stop doing it though.
You kind of like flattened the moment there. You're like,
No, because I'm like got my pants out. H is naked walking around, and we're like doing it like 8 o'clock or something. Got 10 minutes to get ready, and they're coming in and like ah. And I feel horrible because I can't sit down and talk to you or anything. So we've got to go.
right, go.
Right, I seriously got to get ready.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Since the resurgence of their popularity in the past year, Steps have had to manage some difficult press headlines. An article featuring the group has just been released, and Faye, Lee and H have got hold of a copy.
Yeah.
So it says basically, this is the bit I think that winds me up the most. It says that they don't talk to each other much, savvy for a few exchanges when the food arrives. Well, we're always talking to each other when we get on fine. And it says, however, as soon as the interview begins, Steps' transformation into 5 busy mates happens in an instant, and had we not been monitoring their every move beforehand, we might have even believed them.
I just think that's a really cruel and a wrong way of portraying it.
Misrepresented, isn't it?
And it feels really, really two-faced.
It's trying to say that we're false. It's trying to say that we're acting, that we're getting on. And seriously, come and live a tour. Come and live in Steps and see if you can act it and not be yourself. Yourself will always come through. You can't act something you're not. It's just not the way it is.
This I take to heart.
It feels very personal. The people it affects more that I remember from last time round was my family.
Closest
because
people around us.
They're the people that get asked in the street, oh, what about this that I read? And I've got to say, me and my mum fell out over an article that was in a magazine. We'd done a photo shoot and they'd misinterpreted something I'd said, and it really upset my mum. And I'd said to my mum, you know, it's not like that at all, blah blah blah. I tried to explain myself, and she was just so hurt that everybody else had read it, and it affects other people.
On my phone one day last week, and I didn't tell you this, I had missed calls and texts and emails, and somebody, a local journalist, had said that I had died in a car crash. And my mother had left me messages, my brother was frantic, and I literally texted them saying, is everything okay? You know, because I had all these missed calls. And they were like, oh, thank God you're okay. But that was a local rumour started by a local journalist back home.
That's really horrible.
It's dreadful. And my mother, obviously distraught, calling Craig. Craig didn't know. Awful.
That's really, really wrong.
So that's the power of journalism.
Coming up, the band play the biggest show they've ever done. London's O2 Arena, where friends and family will be watching. And talk turns to a recording future 11 years on.
Where do we fit in, and do people want us to do new music? You don't know, do you?
Steps are halfway through their sell-out UK arena tour. They're playing night after night to thousands of excited fans up and down the country. And the exhaustion and pressure is taking its toll. The band have been keen to sell as many tickets in as many parts of the country as possible. And tonight, for their 12th UK date, they're not playing an arena. They're booked in to perform at the Bournemouth International Centre. Normally serving as the town's main conference and hospitality venue, it only seats around 6,000 people. And there's a problem. The crew are struggling to fit in the specially made stage.
As you can see, it's a very tight fit, which then presents us the problem of getting the artists on and off.
So you won't be able to use this because there's...
Is that just stage there?
Well, the stage is there.
Oh my God! Look at that! Literally.
But you can't
It's
go
like
in that way.
brick wall.
It will be quite challenging, and I'm sort of half expecting things to go a little bit wrong tonight.
Because of the layout of the venue, instead of doing their quick changes behind the stage as normal, they'll have to get to a dressing room much further away.
So it's quite a run from the silent stage. You've got to get your skates on. I mean, it's massive walk from there to here.
I'm laughing instead
and
of
back.
crying. Perfect.
There could be chaos backstage.
Wow.
I guess you're going to get to see through that.
It looks that way. It's going to be a bit weird.
Okay, we've got a problem here though, because what about our change from into disco, from ballad section into disco that's really, really quick? I don't trust the fact that I'll be able to get back on.
You're 15 crew up here, plus you guys, plus 10 dancers, so it's going to be busy.
Yeah. It's really tight, isn't it? Really tight. Is it just me that's worried about this?
It's showtime in Bournemouth, and as the band prepare to deliver their old school hit 5, 6, 7, 8, things are already frantic backstage. The Baroque costumes for It's the Way You Make Me Feel have to be squeezed up the narrow staircase, and Claire just about makes it. And Lisa's also having a problem. As the dancers introduce the next track, the band have to rush to the stage. Claire is the last to be ready and has just seconds to get to the stage in time for the first line. She just about makes it. With a few sweaty brows and bruised elbows, they managed to make it through the show. And with the performance under their belts, back at the hotel, conversation turns to possible future recordings.
No, I was looking at the idea potentially of another album, if you guys are up for it.
Oh.
And I mean, what obviously comes to mind, besides all the business issues and all of that, is really what would the next album be? What would the sound of Steps be?
We've got to figure out if anybody wants us to do a new album first. Where do we fit in, and do people want us to do new music? You don't know, do you?
No, there's too many tweets going out there saying new music, new music.
The prospect excites me, but it also worries me.
What worries you?
Where we fit in, because we were what we were, and music has changed on. We're older, the game has changed. where do we fit in? What do we do?
You look at like where we've been and all that, and it is scary. I agree. I'm totally scared about what could happen. But did we ever fit in?
No.
And that's why we made it, because we were different.
For me, the question is not so much like, do the public want it? It's really, what is it? What type of record would you make?
Direction.
Yeah. What is the essence of Steps?
Fun.
Fun.
Family.
High energy.
Well, actually, it's like a good dance beat underneath, but quite a poignant song.
They are, yeah. You've got to be
but
good
with a really
songs.
good melody.
And lyric.
And lyrically quite strong as well. And so I think there's still things like that out in the market, but it's just getting the right sort of flavour. I think it's about the right producers.
It's all about good songs. We're always about pop songs.
Yeah.
And you see these major artists release crap, and it doesn't sell.
If we make the wrong move, then that's it over.
It is crucial.
Gone.
You're right. We have to get it right.
We have got to get it really right, and that is something that's going to take time. I mean, it's not something that's going to happen overnight.
But as well, we have to think we're called Steps. And there's no point the five of us standing behind microphones or sitting on stools. I know you want to be Adele, but you can't, love, because you're in Steps.
Adele's Adele.
Yeah, but you have to remember where we came from. And
45 this year.
Love, I'm knocking 40.
No, you're not. It's knocking 40. You're 36.
But we have
to every day.
You're 6 off 30.
But remember our name, Steps. It has to marry up with a sound and a song.
We've talked about this a little bit, and we wanted to talk to you about whether or not you think maybe to bridge the gap and to keep things ticking over, a Christmas album may be an idea. Not, Good King Wenceslas and Silent Night.
Again, a manger.
Mash up Away with the Manger.
Away with the Manger.
It's a new one.
Away.
And mistletoe and wine.
Actually, Silent Night, you could have frosted Silent Night, but songs that pop Christmas songs like Mariah Carey maybe, but also songs that were big at Christmas like Stay.
Festive.
Stay, like by E17. That was a really Christmassy song, but it wasn't about Christmas.
I think that's a great idea.
We can't wait until Christmas 2013 to do another tour, and I think we've kind of got we've got a taste for it, and we know that this is, we do want to go forward.
Are we all said yes to releasing something then?
Strike while the iron's hot.
If we agree to this, if we think
this is a bit of a revelation, really. I think it could work. I think there's all sorts of interesting things you could do with it.
It may be a nice bridge we build to future projects.
The whole process of selecting songs and record producers is a very complicated one. It's not a question of just looking down the charts and finding who's written the latest hits and going for them. It's about finding people that really want to do it, that are really motivated for it, and really understand what the group are about.
And I think, there are a lot of people that have seen the tour this time round who weren't in Steps, never have been, were never planning on being, and it's turned people's heads, and they realise that it's a strong product and something that can go forward. So we need to have music to reflect that, and we need to have the right team that believes in us and who know us.
If you're involved in the selection of the material, then you can pick material that crosses the divide of the group, so it's equally distributed.
I think it's impossible to say that every single record everyone's going to get an absolutely equal amount to sing.
That's my point.
It's crazy. It's never going to happen.
And it's almost like we're in a safe place at the minute, because
Yeah.
we're in the Steps bubble, and it feels quite safe. And then to go beyond that is scary, because then it's going beyond the nostalgia, and we're not looking backwards, we're looking towards the future, and that is scary.
The band have a lot to think about, but for now, they have to focus on their next challenge. It's what the entire tour has been building up to, London's famous O2 Arena. Its entire capacity of 14,000 seats have been sold out. It's the biggest date they will ever have played, and all their friends and family will be in the audience.
The O2 for me personally is probably the most exciting thing about the whole tour. It makes me smile because I enjoy it. I just think, wow.
I don't know if I'm scared yet.
But I know that there's a lot of pressure on us because it's a London date, and usually in London people are a bit more subdued as an audience member.
All the arenas are fantastic for us to revisit after 10 years, but obviously the O2 wasn't there the first time round, so that's really special. And also it is the biggest, and it is in London. We're going to have a lot of our friends and family there, and that's probably the one I'm most nervous about.
The O2 is pretty massive, so I don't think it's going to quite hit me until we're there and we're on that stage.
Coming up, the band prepare to perform at one of the most famous arenas in the world. And it's time to hear what the press think.
They always have to put a negative slant on positives. It's like they can't just accept that we're bloody good.
Steps are 14 shows into their 20-date Ultimate Tour. They've been travelling the length and breadth of the country, wowing fans old and new as they go. But tonight is the big night. They're performing at the world-famous O2 Arena in London. Not only will they be playing to their largest audience, 28 TV cameras will be trained upon them as they film the entire concert in 3D. It's essential they deliver their best show ever.
This is incredible. This is one of the premier venues in the whole wide world. And it's weird because I've never been here. So I'm actually going to be walking out into the auditorium later and seeing it for the first time. So it's very exciting.
It is really, really, really epic tonight. It's a massive deal being here because it's so big and it's really quite scary.
Oh my God.
The O2 has a reputation, you know, it is the big arena to play all up and down the UK. Don't get me wrong, the arenas are great wherever we go, but everybody has this thing about the O2 in London. It's the big event, and Steps are finally here.
Oh my God, it really is big in here.
I can't quite believe that I didn't realise what an incredible venue it is.
It's massive.
It really is. Amazing. I can't believe we've actually sold out. I didn't realise, it wasn't in my head until I actually came inside and had a look round.
There's our spotlights up there, look.
Unbelievable.
Look how far away they are.
I know, how powerful the lights have to be in here. Tonight everything has to go right, and we have to have things on time and be sounding really great and fresh and perfect. So yeah, there's a lot of pressure on tonight.
I do feel quite overwhelmed because we've kind of, you know, we've had quite a few shows now. We've done a lot of performances, and we've played, I think, to pretty much every arena around the country. We've still got a few more to do, and so you do start to feel a little bit comfortable. You think, you know, I know what I'm doing, I know what costumes I need to be wearing and where I have to be, and then you come here and then you think, oh my goodness, we've got to do this. That is daunting.
Isn't it weird that in like less than 2 hours really there's going to be people in here?
Sitting here?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pressure on tonight, though.
So don't mess it up.
I know. Remember where we are. And I think we've just got to like breathe through this and focus and just do a really great show and not really think of too much about how many people are here.
Coming out here in the auditorium, my heart's going a little bit because I'm thinking we're going to be on that stage soon, and it's just, it's incredible.
This is what it's like empty,
I know,
when it's actually full up.
It's funny though, isn't it? They're all here for little old us.
It's just mad.
That's madness.
We got it wrong.
We better do it right.
I think we should probably go and get ourselves ready for the 14,000 people that are going to be here in an hour.
Let's do it.
5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! Come all the way from Perth in Australia. Really excited.
I'm just amazed to be here and to be a part of this whole Steps experience.
This is going to be one of the best nights of my life.
As the fans flock to the stadium in their thousands, it's time for the band to get ready for the performance of a lifetime. It's time to face the biggest crowd they've ever played to. and the band come together for the final moments before curtain up.
Guys, really massive love. I love you all. This has been a massive ride, and I can't believe we're here at the O2. It's amazing. I love you all. Let's have a really fantastic show.
Love ya.
Love you.
Let's do it.
Come on.
God, let's have a great show.
Do it. Have a good one. Oh, get my bits. Can't breathe. Do it. Oh my God.
After an impressive opening, they go on to deliver some of their classic dance tracks to the packed arena. With the audience lapping up the old dance moves, it's time to hit them with something new. They've had weeks to perfect their fire skills, but tonight they have to get it absolutely perfect. The show is over.
Let's get the champagne out.
O2 has been the most incredible experience. 10 years ago, you know, it wasn't here, and it's like been the best gig of their lives. was incredibly moving.
That was pretty amazing, actually. Really good crowd, and I loved it. All my family here tonight. There was like 40 of them. It's just overwhelming, really. That many people cheering for you. It's a little bit weird. It doesn't happen every day, does it?
It's been an iconic show for the band and an overwhelming success. The after party's in full swing, and it's time to find out what their friends and family think.
You were amazing. I love you so much. But I think the whole show, set me up. The whole show was fantastic. It was amazing. And I'm so proud of you.
It was a good one, wasn't it?
It was a fantastic one.
It's really special being there the O2, and it was just incredible to see how many people were there. And they all remember the dance cities, and I'll never forget it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tonight has been, I think, the most amazing set show that we have ever done. And we've thoroughly enjoyed watching the people watching us. It's just been immense. It's been fantastic. What a night.
It's so nice to see all the hard work pay off, and just the tears, the blood, the sweat and everything else, and now you see what it's become. It's fantastic, it really is.
I think he's still looking forward to getting the happy wife home.
Yeah, I still need somebody to come home and tidy up though.
What 20,000 people look like partying and having a good night.
The energy there was
amazing. It genuinely was just something. It was amazing.
It was wicked. Did you see me waving?
Did you hear me say I loved you? Did you hear me say I love you, my family, or something?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. And I went, that's me. That's me. No one else. No one else. Just me. She's talking to me. I keep getting your nutty fans coming up to me and having a go at me.
That's it, darling. It's been
I keep getting your nutty fans. It's been hard work, but well worth it. It's well worth it to see you up there doing your thing. It's fantastic.
Reese is my rock.
I'm the childminder, put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what they say? Behind every good woman is a caring, sharing, supportive husband.
Behind this woman there is.
Coming up, it's time to find out what the press think of Steps 11 years on.
We've never pretended to be anything different to what we are. It's everybody else that thinks we're crap.
But as they hit the road once again, H gets some devastating news. Steps are 16 dates into their UK arena tour, and they've just played a cornerstone show at one of the most famous venues in the world, London's O2 Arena.
Thank you so much, O2, thank you.
14,000 fans, friends and family came to watch as they played the arena that wasn't even in existence when Steps were touring 11 years ago.
Oh my goodness!
We just did the O2!
Let's get the champagne out.
It's just overwhelming, really. That many people cheering for you.
For the band, it's been an unforgettable night, and Stephen has called a breakfast meeting to regroup and talk through the press reviews that have been published throughout the tour.
I thought it was just a good idea to get together, like just to run through, because we've had, I think, 8 or 9 reviews. So this is like a national red top. When Steps announced they were reforming, I knew they would peter out like a lazy fart.
Nice.
However, he then says, I was wrong.
Oh, good.
Playing to a sold-out and overexcited Liverpool Echo Arena, it was clear the Pop 5 piece are still very much loved by the original fans. Armies of housewives, with kids in tow and a healthy number of pink pounders, roared their way through the set. The majority of the vocals were live, and all the better for it. And what was most surprising was how good local lad Lee Latchford Evans' vocals were.
It's because he's heard them.
He absolutely got the most cheers when they introduced themselves.
Oh, well done, man.
And I thought he was just supposed to be the hunky dancer.
Some would disagree with that.
That was used to. Again, that one finished, their final line, the fun factor is back in pop. It's been long overdue. There is nothing particularly new here. It perhaps leans a little heavy on cover songs for a band with such a big back catalogue of chart hits, but I doubt I'll find a single Steps fan complaining. I know we're not reinventing the wheel, but I'm not quite sure what the
I don't think it needs to be groundbreaking.
Yeah,
It's not like we ever were. It's, you know, it does what it says on the tin, and I think that's what it needs to be.
The thing is,
we've never pretended to be anything different to what we are. It's everybody else that thinks we're crap because we aren't all cool and hip and, you know, it's what it is.
If we did something groundbreaking, they'd slate us for not doing all our original stuff and bringing back nostalgia. And we've done this because it's our ultimate hits tour, so people expect to see what they know. So if we did something, I mean, groundbreaking, we've got the best screen available.
So the highest bid. No one's ever done that before.
Exactly. And I think it's a classy set, and we can do so much on it.
And also just on the fashion, the styling side of things, and how you've brought things right up to date from 10 years ago. It's clear they're still made up of individuals rather than a solid group, as the 20-minute solo section showed. Claire stepped up and trounced the lot of them vocally with the immense ballad I Surrender, full of big notes.
That's not very nice, is it?
There were no group hugs or shows of unity at all, which was a shame, as you could feel the audience yearning for public reconciliation.
For real?
That to me says every journo out there where they always have to put a negative slant on positives. It's like they can't just accept that we're bloody good, we do a good show, we are what we are, we're not trying to be anything different.
But what we all really wanted to know was how much of the squabbling is behind them.
Well, sometimes I expect them, I think they expect us to have a row on stage.
Claire Richards has yo-yoed in dress size since Steps split.
It's not secret, Ola.
It's immediately obvious that the management hasn't packed her off to the gym, and that's something to be applauded.
It's kind of, she looks really fat, but that's good.
Carry on, read on.
I think it's you're allowed to embrace your size.
It was the biggest Easter party Tyneside has perhaps ever seen, and it proved Steps most definitely were not best forgotten. 10 years had passed since the Fivesome last stepped onto the stage of the arena, but it was as if that decade had never happened. The Ultimate Tour has it all. Terrific production values, fabulous sets and outfits, great effects, and 5 singers who appear to be having a ball. The fun factor is back in pop. It's been long overdue.
Bock in pop.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Very good.
Really good.
Yeah. So even, you know, where they've been slightly spiky, they still end up saying, and even the journalists, it's a great show, and they've enjoyed it.
Refreshingly positive, it's nice.
With plenty of positive reviews, the band are feeling confident and spirits are high. Although the O2 was the pinnacle of their tour, there are still 5 more shows around the country to get through. And the band need to keep their energy levels up every night to deliver the same quality show to each new audience. But it's become clear that H is struggling to muster up the fun-filled energy he needs on stage. And the rest of the group seem to be giving him extra emotional support. Something's clearly wrong. After coming off stage one night, H received the sad news that the child he and his partner Craig had been expecting through surrogacy had been lost 16 weeks into the pregnancy.
So how are you feeling? You've been through the mill, obviously. Just.
Yeah, it's not been easy.
And just us and the group, the girls know. No one else in the company is aware of your news.
No. My family knows, and my close friends. But yeah, nobody really knows apart from us.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard, people not knowing and having to put a brave face on it as well.
Yeah.
I've performed for a long time, but the last few shows have been the hardest I've done, definitely.
All I can say, mate, is I love you, I'm there for you, and I know the band are, and I just think you've been phenomenal to do this. At the end of the day, you really are, you're a true trooper, and you're showing your colours. True colours.
I just find it's really strange because it's kind of something that I never had, but I knew I was having. It just feels like I've lost something, but I can't do anything about it. It's just a very empty, weird feeling.
It's not here. You've never physically touched it or anything, but yet you knew you were going to. It's all those emotions that are going on you. It's very difficult to comprehend, and I think numb is a good word.
And I think because Craig is obviously not here as well, and he's dealing with all that crap back home, I think it's more real for him because he's in a home environment, where all of our plans, we were planning Christmas together, as a family, and that's all of that's been shattered. I don't know what to feel. I feel just completely useless and empty. Just feels very, very weird.
I think that's the hard thing, is knowing what to do, how to move forward. But I think you've done it great, honestly. You got to get on stage and perform in front of over 10,000 people a night, which is what we've been doing. Smiling, it's typical Steps world. They don't see this.
And you've had comfort from the others, obviously.
Oh my God.
So you felt the love, yeah.
My God, they've been amazing. Everybody. And it's hard enough going on stage and pretending that you're happy, but when you're singing the songs that are really not so happy, and that cuts really deep. That cuts like a knife. I don't know if Faye didn't look at me the other night on stage, because she was going to cry.
Certain songs, I know. There's a few, that just hit the nail on the head, and it's not nice.
Yeah. And then Lisa held my hand all the way through one song, and that was lovely.
Where do you go from here? What's the process now?
If I'm honest, I can't wait to go home now.
Yeah.
I just, because it's a mixture of emotions. We're doing such an amazing thing on stage, and yet off stage, you're dealing with all that crap. But that's life, isn't it? It's kind of a double-edged sword for me at the moment.
If ever I could help you, or just try and give you some strength or some comfort, it is just to try and, detach yourself from now and just try and, think positively about the future. The fact that you've got someone to go home to and comfort each other, and try and move it all forward.
I found really hard is being around kids.
Yeah.
Can't get away from them.
Yeah.
I had breakfast with Faye yesterday morning, and I started crying because Benjamin was saying, "I love you, Uncle H." I was like, "Oh, fuck." There you go.
You need a good break, mate.
Yeah. Okay.
Next time, as the tour comes to a close, the time has finally come for Steps to decide whether or not they have a future.
Are you in? Are you out?